Guys, here we are on the range bay today, and what we're going to discuss today is early extension, a drill that will help you eliminate early extension. Okay, so early extension is one of the most common faults associated with hitting the golf ball. Okay, so what I mean by early extension, today's video is not necessarily like eliminating something, it's adding something at the end. So we're not getting rid of early extension completely, we're adding the extension bit in, but we're adding a bit more rotation to stop early extension. So what I mean by early extension is if you were to address the golf ball, if you were to address a normal golf ball, what happens is people's pelvis, their knees and their lower body start to work towards the golf ball pre-impact, okay, so prior to hitting the golf ball. And what happens is, instead of their chest being on top of the golf ball, so covering the golf ball, their chest starts to work up towards the sky, okay. That's known as early extension. What you'll tend to find is people who get to the top of the backswing and they start to early extend, their hips thrust forward, their shoulders thrust forward, and their chest pointing to the sky, so they go into extension too early. So that can create a lot of errors. So today's video is basically getting you into a habit of understanding what you need to do to try and get rid of early extension. So I see too many golfers who get in the position where they stand up, so they stand up but just before they hit the golf ball. And what that does is it makes the club, so this action, so I stand up, and what tends to happen is the handle gets a little bit high through impact. So if you struggle with an open club face, slicing or hooking the golf ball, or general inconsistencies, what you need to get to terms with is it's what the body has to do after impact to stop this from happening. So if we early extend before impact, in order for us to stop that, we have to late extend. So think about the extension happening after impact. So extension when the chest starts to work towards the golf ball too early, and then from there you're not going to create a lot of compression. But anyway, the drill to work on here is think about, obviously I've done drills in the past where you think about trying to get your butt along the wall and turn along the wall. That's not necessarily going to get rid of early extension. To get rid of early extension, we need to keep the extension in there, but we need to rotate after impact. So extends their belt buckle, so the left hip, that goes almost too high. So basically the belt buckle is facing straight towards the golf ball, and then from there this lead hip gets too high. So what we need to feel like we're doing is focus on your belt buckle. So as we're coming through impact, we're not early extending, so we're not extending the right arm too early. We're keeping the right arm more bent. So think about that action. Feel like our chest covering the golf ball. Okay, we're not rising at the shot too early where our chest early extends away from the golf ball. So think about getting the stick. So think about rotating your belt buckle towards the target. It's really simple, but it's important for you to rotate, then extend. Okay, so think about that. A lot of people who don't rotate properly, that is a byproduct of early extension. So for example, they early extend because they don't rotate. So you should always rotate first, then extend. Before that, we would take this to the golf course, okay? So we're discussing early extension. So early extension is what we talked about. We get to the top of the backswing, and what happens is the pelvis starts to thrust forward, the chest goes from in a good position over the golf ball to slightly started to rise up. That's just because of this early extension action obviously without any rotation. So we get to the top of the backswing from there, almost getting that action when the chest points to the sky too early. We don't add any rotation and this lead hip gets quite high. So what we're going to do today is we're going to discuss, we're not necessarily taking an element out, we're adding an element in, and that element is rotation. So the first thing that creates a lot of inconsistencies is early extension. So early extension can create a high handle impact, create a lot of thin shots, a lot of top shots, a lot of inconsistencies. So the feels that we're going to implement today, okay, so if you try and get to the top of the backswing, then from there, if I was to early extend, then my belt buckle is a reference point to use for rotation. If I don't rotate properly, so get into this position, my belt buckle still faces straight in front of the golf ball, so I'm not going to add any rotation in there. So my lead hip stays down the way, so feel like your belt buckle stays down, okay, and the belt buckle has to rotate left of target. So if you don't rotate properly, you're still going to have that early extension. So it's really important we add in that rotation, so we add the rotation. If we add the rotation, our chest is going to still stay over the golf ball. It's not elevating, so our chest is staying over the golf ball. And from there, we're going to stay more in forward flexion. So if you see any good player, what I mean by forward flexion is they're keeping their chest almost fixed over the golf ball all the time, so they're keeping their lower back slightly bent. If you struggle with too much extension, early extension, that chest or that flexion of the chest moves up too early and the chest points to the sky. Okay, so they stand up too early. So if you get into this impact position, from there, feel like the lead hip stays down the way. The lead hip stays down, we're going to help get rotate a bit more rotation. So think about rotation and then extension of our chest. Think about that. Okay, so we're not early extending, because if we early extend, the belt buckle doesn't turn. So rotate, so feel like the belt buckle goes left of target to start off with. Then we're going to extend with the chest. Think about the three feels that I should have is I feel like my hips are opening up, the lead hip stays down, and my chest turns towards target. Okay, so feel like your chest, so if put a stick in the ground to your left heel, or picture your left hip trying to get past your left heel, okay, or get level with your left heel. So get into that position, so stay down more on the shot. So if you extend, then you're not going to get much rotation, you're going to stay fixed over the golf ball. So think about rotating, and then from there you're adding in that extension. From there, the feels that you should have is feel like you've got a tightness in your left glute, feel like the hips open up, and feel like your hips go from forward to round. Okay, so if you early extend, this lead hip doesn't rotate, and from there you're going to early extend without any rotation. So think about getting to the top of the backswing, rotating, keeping the lead hip down, and then we're going to extend it, our chest and hips as we get past impact. So think about a stick in the ground at 10 o'clock. So we're going from here to here, and then from there, feel like the lead hip obviously stays down and starts to work towards the left heel. Okay, so keep rotating the hips left of target. We don't stand the handle up this position, so you should feel like obviously your hips opening up, and I feel like I'm swinging to the left as well after I rotate my hips. So any thoughts in that video, make sure you post your comments below regarding that. So remember, we're not taking out an element, we're adding in an element in. So people who struggle with extension, the first thing you need to understand is, where am I extending? Before impact or after impact? So think about, if you extend, your body stalls, the chest gets further away from the ground, or you get a little bit taller and you don't rotate. So think about, to eliminate that, you have to top of the backswing, rotate first. So that if you rotate first, the belt buckle is going to go from this position where it's pointing away from the target to more towards the target. Then you're going to go into more extension as you come to the impact, so you're in forward flexion for longer as you hit the golf ball. All good players remain centred over the golf ball, their chest covers the golf ball as they hit it. And then from there, you're going to come through, you're going to feel a little bit of tightness in your glutes, you feel like the hips are going to open up, the chest is going to open up, and you're going to feel a path that's going to the left instead of a path that's going high and maybe too far to the right. So think about, hands are low and left, and you're going to create a lot more consistent strikes. If you've got any thoughts, any other topics you want me to discuss regarding any other departments of your game, make sure you like the video, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel at Jamie Allen Golf, and share the video around, and follow me on other social media platforms. Handle is attached below. Thank you.